hats as we play the national anthem.
Okay, starting. Well, history rolls on for the Chicago Fire as they prepare for their 19th MLS season and just 2 more dress rehearsal preseason matches before the real thing launches off March 6th. It's so good to be next to a club legend. Frankie Klopas, I'm Dan Kelly, my partner all year, so excited. And Frankie, first things first, you witnessed Sunday's 3-2 victory over Vancouver live. Your initial impressions of watching this club under Pano's direction?
First of all, it's great to be here with you also, Dan, but there were a lot of positives from the last game that we talked about. I felt that the team was very organized in both phases of play. I think they looked to build out of the back. They were very good in possession. But the most important thing is that they kept that shape throughout the game. I think defensively, I think they were they stayed very compact, very organized. I think there were moments where they pressed very well as a team. So there were some positives, but for sure some things to work on.
Just 2 preseason matches left. Winning's not the most important thing right now this time of the year. What are you looking for from the club tonight?
Well, look, I mean, obviously some expected changes to the lineup. That's normal, but the things that they've been talking about and the things that I saw the last game, I think, again, I go in possession. Their ability to start and play out of the back, keep good possession, not only in front of our goal, but now to be able to push that and do it in the opposing's half of the field. Stay compact as a team. I think that's going to be important. And listen, I know it's not important, but to get another win, I think to get the momentum rolling, but also keep a clean sheet.
Yes, this is a nasal side, but this is a Minnesota United FC team right now that has a lot on the line. Players fighting for their lives right now, so they're going to be a team that's going to be tough to beat.
Listen, a lot to play for a lot of these guys, but also on the Fire squad too. You know, you have a lot of guys out there getting minutes. They want to impress the coaching staff and earn a starting spot out there. So there's a lot riding for both teams. So it should be an exciting game.
Slabraka and Iguananike standing over the ball for the men in red on the road. This is the 5th year Portland has been playing host to a 4-team round-robin tourney. This Minnesota side fell to Portland 4-0, ran into red card trouble late in the game, so they look for a little redemption here on this Wednesday evening in the beautiful city of Portland.
And I think, Dan, the one thing with Iguananike playing on top, I think it's very crucial for him, his ability with the midfield players that we have, that he's got to be able to stretch the opposing team, Minnesota. So he's got to look to play in depth. He's got to look to get behind and create more space for Labroca and for the midfield players to receive the ball.
There's a familiar face, the sophomore now, Matt Polster. Velko Paunovic keeps describing Polster as the energetic one there in the middle, and he defended his keeper, Matt Lampson, last game. Matt Lampson will start between the sticks tonight for the Chicago Fire.
I thought Polster had a fantastic game. Showed to me a lot of maturity, a lot of growth in his game. You know, he's always been a guy that covers so much ground, does so much hard work for the team, but his ability now on the ball to make better decisions and keep possession at crucial times was very important.
Out wide there, we saw the first touch for the Stanford product, Brandon Vincent. Pretty quiet stadium so far. This is the first of 2 matches. Things will get a little more energetic later in this match as the home team getting ready, the Portland Timbers.
But this is good by the Fire, just keeping the ball, obviously just being patient, and I think this is a good run by Bonanique. As you keep possession, Fernandez comes in, and there's their ability for him to make that run in the channel and receive the ball. So it's a good run by him.
There's Polster, just lost the ball at his feet for a moment, but regains his bearings. As Mikey Stevens had it for a moment.
And that's a good job by the Fire. As you can see, their ability now, even when they have possession, to have good team shape. And when they lose it, you know, in the next 2-3 seconds, they had numbers around the ball and their ability to close very hard and win that ball back.
Shield it!
Calistri, the Northwestern product, racing down the near side, just out of his range. That's what Veljko Paunovic was saying after that match against Vancouver on Sundays. 2-3 minutes, that high press versus Vancouver, it worked and they scored. It made them feel uncomfortable, but he still feels they need some more work and to do that a little bit more.
Definitely down.
Kristen Niche between the sticks for Minnesota United FC. Campbell off the boot of Lamson. You saw a lot of touches for Sean Johnson Sunday, didn't you?
A lot of touches, seriously. The touches he had in one game, I don't think I've seen him in 2 years. But it was good for me because you know, seeing him and how comfortable he was on the ball, his distribution was very good. It was very positive to see.
Vincent probing on the outside.
And I tell you, the other kid that's impressed me is this kid Colin Fernandez, because I saw him come in at the game late on Wednesday. I've been watching him the last couple of days in training, and he's a kid that when he's got an opportunity, he's taking advantage of it. He's not faced by the situation to step on the field and play. Even in training, he's worked really hard, and he's looked pretty sharp in the game that I saw him and at the training sessions.
Guanamike trying to lay it off there for young Colin Fernandez. We're captured by Mikey Stevens. The cross coming!
Very good.
Rising up there was Joey Calistri with the first look at goal.
And that's very important for the wide guys, especially like that. You know, when the ball's on the opposite side, for Calistri to make sure he makes the diagonal runs and gets in the box and supports Guanamike. I think that was a good opportunity because Labroca was in the box, Calistri was in the box, and it was very close to for the opening goal.
Defensively stopping that wide service was an issue for the Fire in that victory over Vancouver Sunday.
Good, Wally, tight. Good, Wally.
Very active start for Joey Calistri. Full 90 minutes for Michael Harrington on Sunday. Where's number 5 at the right back position? Hanging ball there intended for Guanamike, but brought down by Anthony Wallace. There's Polster to break things up.
That's a great job by Polster. His ability now to help the team win that ball back and save so much running for the group. It's just, you know, he's been such a positive guy for the team.
I think that Logan Paws was trying to hammer home to him late last year is at that position, especially, and being a young guy, he's so energetic. Less is more oftentimes for a guy like Matt Polster. Fernandez has a little room out wide. Chip towards Brandon Vincent. It's taken back over by Minnesota United FC. Wallace wide. Misses Ramirez with that pass, and Stevens up with it.
And this is good team pressure by the Fire. They lost the ball, but now their ability to be organized and then really not give Minnesota a lot of time to find the open players and, you know, make them hurry the passes and regain possession quickly.
Yeah, that word that Coach Paunovic used, make them feel uncomfortable here in the 6th minute. A lot of possession from the Chicago Fire. Calistri has had the initial look on goal. Press coming from Fernandez and Guanamike. Little spirit going forward now by Minnesota. This is Watson. Just some simple possession. Name familiar to you, Tony Walls, number 35 there for Minnesota United FC.
Tony Walls is a guy that I had when I was with the Fire.
And who's that long-haired gentleman out there? Talking about Chris Ritter, number 32. Hanging ball over the top, well anticipated by that back line. As Kappelhoff will utilize his keeper, Matt Lampson, the Ohio State product. Minnesota felt they gave the ball away in vulnerable areas on Sunday. You're trying to march to a vulnerable area. Kennedy Agbuananike.
You know, those channels runs are there earlier. If, you know, there was LaBroca where he hesitated to go, and I think Agbuananike came in late. But with the movement of Fernandez coming inside, you know, the fullback overlaps, the spaces to get behind, plus then either LaBroca or Agbuananike can make those channel runs and get the ball in space where you can turn and run the defenders.
Fernandez leaves it out wide. Spun in there by Vincent, but into the awaiting hands of Kristen Niche. Will a reminder be there for the 2016 Chicago Fire season opener, presented by CSN Chicago, when the Fire host New York City FC Sunday, March 6th. Single game group and season tickets are now available by visiting chicago-fire.com or by calling 888 MLS Fire. You can also catch the action live on Comcast Sportsnet Chicago with kickoff at 1 p.m. Central, along with myself, Dan Kelly, Frank Klopas, and Paul Tenorio. Harrington, LaBroca. Go Minnesota United's way here, 9th minute. There's Chris Ritter. Homegrown product for the Chicago Fire, out of Northwestern. It's Wallace looking for Ramirez. It's just jabbed out. Will be a throw for Minnesota. Some room for Ritter, tries to keep it on the deck. Looking there for Ramirez again. It's Fernandez, unable to bring it down. What do you like about Colin Fernandez?
Look, I'm still trying to figure out what his best spot on the field is. You know, obviously, he's played as a holding midfielder, a number 8, a box-to-box player. He's played out wide right now. If he plays out wide, he's more of a guy that's going to look to tuck inside. So you need Vincent to get forward and overlap. But he's good on the ball. He's got a good engine. We can cover a lot of ground. And I just think he's also a very good one-on-one player, where he can beat players, create opportunities for himself, and he's got the vision to make you know, good passes to his teammates.
Saw some good reactions by Harrington and Kappelhoff just moments ago as they switch things. Dancing on the ball, Fernandez gets it back from Mikey Stevens into the area.
Good little give and go by Fernandez there.
First corner of the match will go to the Chicago Fire here in minute number 11. It's LaBraca. Will whip it in. Calistri standing right in front of the keeper. High floating service, rising up for it was Kappelhoff, comes down to Harrington. As Campbell just had it for a moment. Look at Polster. Whistle.
That's a good job by Polster. It's right there. Okay, he makes a foul, but it's a smart foul.
Why is that a smart foul, Coach?
Because if he gets out of that one, then you have about 10 guys that have to track back and run in an open field. So very close to winning the ball, but if not, you stop the play and you're about 90 yards away from your goal.
Is fitness even more paramount during this preseason? Because Veljko Paunovic has said that he wants to play that high pressing style.
Look, you do. I mean, obviously the guys have worked hard. The legs are a little bit heavy, but you have to just push through it as much as you can. You're able to do that when you're also good in possession. You know, if you're good in possession, because you use possession in two ways. One is to be able to get your legs to freshen up a little bit, but also not to unbalance the other team as you're moving the ball from one side to the other. And then once you create the numerical advantage, and you can go with pace. So you have to be good with the ball, you know, for those two reasons.
The surface is better here in Portland. New field turf installed about 2 months ago, the same type that was installed in Seattle recently, but it's a little better here because they don't have to deal with the football surface. They like to make it a little harder in Seattle for the NFL.
Oh, the new pitch is good, and obviously wetting the field before the game, I think helps a lot also.
Harrington turns it over. This is Watson. Spun in the middle by Ramirez. Bernardo Honor, the former Columbus crewman.
And that's the one area I want to see better this game, Dan. You know, the last game that I saw, I think our ability to defend the wide area is better in 1-1 situations and not allow crosses and service to come in the box. I think that's a key point, you know, to be looking in this game. But also, if those crosses come in, box defending has to improve.
Calmed down out of the back by Coleman. A little better here recently this last spell from Minnesota United.
And that's a little miscommunication there. I think Polster and Mikey Stevens playing together, they both cannot be flat. When Polster steps to put pressure on Rolls, I think Mikey Stevens has to come underneath and pick up that second striker or the number 10 coming in between the pockets.
How tough is it, Frank? You did it as a player. Frank Yallop in control of this team the last 2 years now. Veljko Paunovic, the manager, new system, new ideas. As a player, how difficult is it to get accustomed to that?
Well, there's been a lot of changes, a lot of new players to the team, you know, and obviously this is why preseason is so important, so crucial. And, the positive for me when I came and I saw the game on Wednesday, yes, it was important that the team got the win. But the most important thing is that when you looked at the game, you saw that the work that the coach has done. You know, very good tactical organization, good ideas building out of the back, you know, staying compact. You know, I talked about the two center backs and their ability now every time to make sure that they move the back line up and they keep the team short and compact. You know, those are some good things that I saw, and then you see that those are the things that the team has been working on. Of course it has to improve and it's going to get better, but the longer that the group is together, the more time they spend, that chemistry is also only going to improve.
Saturday is going to be an important match, though, isn't it? I mean, March 6th is not that far away.
I agree with you, and I think probably Saturday will probably, give us an opportunity to see the closest lineup leading into the game to 6. I think for both teams. I think Portland's probably going to put the strongest team out there, and I would assume the same for our Fire team, because it's last good test before the real show starts.
And what a test against the defending champions on their home pitch.
And this is what I'm talking about. The ball is played back, and our ability now for Kopenhoff and then to guide the back line and move the back line up, because if you're a static back line, you're a dead back line. So every time you have a chance to move up and stay connected and keep the opposing forwards also guessing.
Little space opening up. Ben Spees, another former MLSer. Shot couldn't get through.
And then this is what I was talking earlier. Polster steps up. Mike Stevens has to make sure that if one is up, one comes underneath, so he's able to pick up those players that come in between the holes there.
Swerved in, and Matt Lampson has it. You need cover, right? And protection and support.
But you can't be flat, because if you're flat and you both go to the ball, then there's big gaps in between the back line and the midfield line. And if you have players who are, can make a difference in the final third and then able to get the ball and turn in those areas, they can hurt you. So if Polster steps up to put pressure, then Mikey has to slide underneath to help, and also Fernandez has to come inside and stay more compact.
You watch this kid growing up a little bit in the Chicagoland area, Mikey Stevens.
Great mentality, great attitude. Mikey Stevens always gives everything he has for the team. And I think today in his role, he's expected to be that box-to-box guy that's going to go forward and support Lubboka, support Bonanique, and get in the box.
Brandon Vincent unable to keep that ball, as it was a tough season for Mikey Stevens last year just to get into the starting 11. It took him a while, but that back half of the season he became a fixture. Brandon Vincent called for the foul as he was trying to reclaim possession.
The other thing with Fernandez that we're talking about, you have to understand his age. He's a very young player. He's 18 years old, so he has so much space and room to develop. But the good thing is that when he gets the opportunity, he's not faced by by the challenge. You put him in games, and he's ready to step up, and he's a young guy, so he has to make that jump now from a young academy player, to being a professional player. But he's got the right mentality and attitude.
Ramirez will lay it back for Minnesota United FC in the 19th minute. This is the Simple Invitational from Providence Park in Portland, Oregon. There's Polster. Busting things up in the midfield once again. What qualities does Kappelhoff have?
Listen, he's definitely very comfortable playing out of the back. Technically, he's very sound player, and that's the one thing you get with the Dutch players. Technically very sound. He's an athletic player. He's young. He's played a lot of games, but the thing is, he's a leader in the back. He seems to communicate a lot to the back line, and I think that's going to come in handy, especially when you're playing with Campbell and Vincent and some young players to his left. So I think it's crucial for him, even though he's 25. He's had a lot of games on his belt, and he's got a lot of experience.
Good spell of possession here. It was brought down softly by Nick LaBrocca moments ago to keep it rolling. But it's Watson. Spees wanting to switch it. Anthony Wallace commanding the ball down the left side, but Minnesota keeps it in the middle. Watson, the little slip pass, and off his line alertly was Matt Lampson.
Matt Lampson, but it was good cover by Campbell and also Vincent to come inside. As one stepped in, I think they were, they anticipated the through ball very well, and also Lampson coming off his line, he did a very good job reading the play.
Jonathan Campbell, we know what assistant coach really favors him, the UNC product, right? Logan Paws.
Logan must love him.
Did it surprise you that Logan Paws is involved in coaching?
No, it's great to see. I think Logan, he's been with the club for so many years. And it's great to see a guy like Logan now that, you know, to be involved as an assistant coach. You see him, you also see
Sega.
Bravo. I almost forgot Sega's name. How can I forget? He's my neighbor. So it's great to see Sega also involved now with the academy. It's a great through ball, and we have numbers in the box.
It's Mikey Stevens. Right foots it in. Hanging ball. LaBraca rising up the second. Good look. Both off of headers. It was LaBraca there with the most recent try.
It's a good opportunity by the Fire. Very good run by Mikey Stevens through the midfield to get a ball into space, and then we had very good movement, hard runs in the box, and a good delivery in, a good opportunity for the Fire. Very good read by Polster to step in and win that ball.
Just looks even more confident this year in his second season.
The thing that I was very impressed with him the last game is that we know that he has a lot of volume, his ability to cover a lot of ground and win balls back. But I felt that his decision making in the middle, now when he won the ball, he made the right decisions. Not forcing the ball, keeping possession, switching the point of attack, playing quick when he had to, you know, going with the ball in space. So reading the situation and playing so much more as a veteran guy, you know, and learned so much, got so much experience playing that first year. But you could see that last game, it was really great for me to see his development, his maturity.
Serbian manager Veljko Paunovic also didn't seem to mind him being a good teammate at the end of the game, with Matt Lampson being run into. Holsters everywhere. Leaves for Harrington. Iguananike taps it back to Harrington. Fernandez on for Brandon Vincent. Has some room. Cross takes a deflection. Holster lets Harrington take it again. Shoots it in. Second ball.
Well done.
Pinged off the post. It's the Northwestern kid, Joey Calistri, and he gives the Chicago Fire a 1-0 advantage.
Very happy for Joey, and I think it was so important because the Fire had them pinned in. They were in good position. They were able to win second ball, and I think that's where it's so important when you're able to move the team up and then you anticipate, you keep them in the box. Good service in. Great finish by Joey. Very happy for the kid.
Come on, guys, come on. Keep it up.
He's always been a goal scorer. So it was the third good look, and oh yeah, a homegrown product too, Joey Calistri. Those are starting to pile up now for the men in red.
Look, and I think it was important for him when you're playing with one forward on Takik Bonanike. It's so important for those wide players, for Calistri, for Fernandez, you know, to get in the box and to provide numbers on crosses. And that's what they did, and I think, you know, this is where Joey, I think he's been a scorer in college, but his ability now, you know, to gain some confidence from this, but also make those runs, because sometimes you don't get the ball, but you got to put yourself in a good position, and that's what he did, and he got rewarded.
What do you see the biggest challenges from kids coming from North American college soccer, trying to acclimate themselves first couple of pro seasons MLS level?
I think the long season, you know, I think in college, you know, the seasons are maybe 2 months, you know, 2.5, 3 months. Your ability now to stay focused for 8, 9 months to deal, you know, to be able to adapt to that speed of play, you know, and then I think, listen, guys that continues try to work and try to learn every day, I think it's important. But the one thing is just the seasons are so much longer to be able to deal with that.
We saw Harry Shipp, his rookie year, hit the wall a little bit mid-season. That was so surprising. A season last year with a lot of adversity for a rookie, Matt Polster, and he never really seemed to run out of energy. Tony Walls rising up there as Kappelhoff. He's called for the foul. Got a piece of Ramirez. just turning on Chicago Fire Soccer. It's so good to have you with us. I'm Dan Kelly. The familiar voice you hear next to me, Frankie Klopas. So good to have him along tonight and the rest of the regular season on CSN Chicago as Ben Spees and Minnesota United FC readying for this free kick. Punched away by Lamson. Knocked away by Polster. Minnesota hopes to play in MLS in 2017. Their new stadium design was unveiled today, so supporters getting a little excited back in the great state of Minnesota.
Plus a familiar face, former player Manny Lagos, the technical director who played for the Fire.
He's their sporting director, their head coach, Carl Craig. The Dutchman, Kappelhoff. Big Buonanike spots Harrington down the near side. Visions there of Buonanike. Drawing the foul and settling things down was Vincentini.
You gotta find Chris, find Chris.
This is Brent Coleman. Coach Feldy showed poise under pressure Sunday. Calistri wearing number 15 for the men in red continues to play well. He has the opening goal.
Good pressure there by Polster again. I know he made that foul, but it was a very similar play to the ball he stripped away in the Vancouver match. He read it, he went behind, and I think Walls takes a bad angle. So unfortunately he made the foul there, but it was a very similar play, and it's good for him to see the way he reads the situations, and he's very close, very alert, and he just anticipates really well.
LaBrocca shot a troublesome ball there into the area, dealt with by Chris Ritter, reclaimed by Mikey Stevens. Our thoughts are with all Chicagoans dealing with the cold, wintry weather. Gorgeous day here in the Portland area. That weather should be rolling into the Illinois area by the weekend, hopefully, though.
My wife kills me. Every time I go away, they get a snowstorm there.
We'll be cooling off by the second half, though. Frank might be a little chilly.
That's why I brought my jacket here. I'm well prepared.
The veteran move is almost a half hour old. Harrington.
And look, there's still some things when you see certain things develop from up here, and then the movement and the timing being a little bit more synchronized. And that's going to take a little bit of time because you have so many new players. Because as Campbell gets forward with the ball, you see Fernandez coming in. I think Vincent had the ability to get behind. He had two options, and I think he can play the ball a little bit quicker there.
Buonanike steals. Looking for options. Finds one. At least he thought for a moment was LaBrocca.
Waited a little bit. I thought he had an opportunity maybe to hit that one with his left foot as he cut inside. Once he waited, I thought Minnesota did a very good job getting behind the ball.
Buonanike scored on a penalty Sunday in that victory over Vancouver. Saw a great Chicago Fire fan, Ray Cook, outside the stadium like we did last year before the Simple Invitational. Was down following the team also in Tampa. So hopefully the men in red can find a victory in this preseason match for Mr. Cook. We expect massive substitutions by both teams after 45 minutes. Basically, the guys who started for the Chicago Fire Sunday, we should see a lot of them in the second half. Santini. Walls will drift it wide to Wallace.
That's a good job by Fernandez there. I mean, I think that's one of the areas I think that, you know, from the last game that they really focused on in training, their ability to close those wide spaces quicker and deny those crosses coming into the box.
Do you sometimes see the young players, Frank, the first-year players, the rookies, their on-field communication needs to improve?
Oh, for sure, a little bit. You come into a new team with a lot of new players, and everyone's still trying to find themselves, you know, get more comfortable within the group. So as time goes on, I expect, you know, the communication, and sometimes it's just the personality of the person, but it helps a lot when you have vocal players on the field.
Wallace combines with Watson.
This is a little bit where Bonanica's got to help defensively. When the ball is on the opposite side of the field, he doesn't have to worry about Chris Ritter on the far side. If LaBroca comes on one side and puts pressure on Kelman, he can come and slide and be closer and support. If the ball plays back, you know, those two can deal with the 3v2 and try to keep the ball on one side. If he doesn't do that, that's where it forces Mikey Steven or Polster to come out of their hole, and then, you know, it gets numbers up from Minnesota where they have a 2v1 in the middle. So he's got to help a little bit more on the defensive side.
Kappelhoff and Campbell back and forth out of the back. Polster and Mikey Stevens out of the midfield. Tap back by Brandon Vincent. Lofted in by Stevens. Ritter rising up. LaBroca brings it down. Fernandez looking for space. Chipped over to Harrington. Outnumbered, cool little back heel, but brushed away by Ritter.
Another great job of Polster. Does enough just to apply some pressure. The Fire are able to maintain possession. It saves a lot of running for the guys. And now, you know, your ability now to be smart and move the ball quick, you know, and then let Minnesota chase the ball.
Not surprisingly, number 2 in red has been maybe the best player in this opening half from either side. Calistri has the lone goal. Fernandez sees Brandon Vincent is available. Just skipping out of his way.
Unlucky by Vincent, but it's a great switch by Fernandez there.
Vincent, though, trying to recover. Push it on to Calistri, but recaptured by Minnesota. The pressure from Vincent and Calistri just too much, and the Fire have it once again.
Come on, hey! Come on, Chris!
Stevens keeps it on the turf. Iguananike. A little behind Fernandez. Over to Harrington. Back to Harrington.
That's a great build-up by Chicago. It's still on, and that's Calistri with the second goal.
Joey Calistri, thank you very much, from Brandon Vincent, the young gun connection, and it's 2-0 for the Chicago Fire.
That was just a fantastic build-up by the team. They were very patient, played the ball in the holes, got it back, switched the ball, and I'll tell you, Harrington, the run that he made, not that he got forward, but I think the timing of his run was very important. You know, when the ball was played to Fernandez, to make that run at the right moment and create the 2v1 opportunity. Played a very good square ball. It was unlucky that LaBroca didn't score the first time, but then Calistri again in the right spot, 2-0. Very happy for the kid.
That will help out the confidence.
All the Chicago guys are going to score today.
And you mentioned the play of Michael Harrington. He hasn't made many mistakes so far on the ball tonight.
I think he's been solid, you know, and especially on this side with Colin Fernandez. I think he's a player that likes to come inside more, so it's very important that Harrington really stays wide and provides that width that the team needs. But also every time on the switch, with Fernandez coming inside, if you can find him, his ability now to get forward and create those 2v1 situations, just like we saw in the goal, are crucial.
Joey Calistri again takes it from Brandon Vincent. Brandon Vincent moves out of his way. LaBrocca takes a deflection. Niche calms that ball down. Minnesota, the first American non-MLS team to take part in this preseason tournament in Portland. LaBrocca back for Kappelhoff.
It's a good possession by the Fire, just being patient. They're up 2-0. Let's keep the ball. Move it a little bit quicker, obviously. You know, you have Minnesota with 10 players behind the ball, so your ability now to move the ball a little bit quicker, be good in possession, and just to do either combination play or look to switch the point of attack, just like the last goal, where we can create those 2v1 situations out wide. And then it becomes very important that we get those hard runs in the box, get numbers in the box and the crosses like the Fire have been doing, and they've been getting rewarded by it.
Maybe a hat trick is in store for young Joey Calistri. Has the brace already.
I think if he plays more than a half, I think it's a good possibility that he gets it.
It's preseason. If you were the manager, would you keep him in?
I'd try to push him. I mean, obviously, the last game, you know, I mean, he came in, he played maybe 13, 14 minutes in the last game, so I'm sure he has more than 45 in him tonight.
But who knows what Veljko Paunovic also wants to see in the second half. His preseason starting to run out. Just one more match left after this against the defending champs, the Portland Timbers, on Saturday. Walls will give to Ritter.
Good read by LaBrocca there to intercept that ball.
He just got enough of it so Polster could take it.
Don't want LaBrocca to drop too deep now with Stevenson and Polster. You want him to be a little bit higher up the pitch and closer to Guananique, so you can be in a position where you can help him. You don't want to leave him isolated on top. Move the ball a little bit quicker.
Polster back to the keeper, didn't like what he saw in front of him. This is Campbell. Splashed over to Harrington. Polster draws some attention. A completely revamped back line for the Fire. There's Joey Calistri. Whistle stays silent. Recovered by Mikey Stevens. Polster keeps it on the deck there for Brandon Vincent. Will be a throw. Mikey Stevens is ready to go again. Heave towards Igboananike. Guess who was nearby? Joey Calistri, but couldn't settle it down. What a recovery there by Polster. But it's Niche beginning the break for Minnesota United FC.
Yellow card there by Polster, but I would say, again, you tell me a smart foul, I could say that's a smart foul too. But, you know, the one thing I want to point out with Chicago, I think that, you know, every time they've been winning the ball, you know, they get the ball. I think that the one thing I can say is that they've been very patient. You know, I think that's the important thing. They don't force play. Tactically, they get organized, and then they start to build it. And I think that's been a very positive. It's not like they win it and then they force the ball. They get organized, they move the ball, okay? They try to move it from side to side, and then when the opportunity is there to go with pace, they go.
Ben Speed's trying to get that shot through.
It's been all organized buildups. It's not individual play, which sometimes you need, but I think it's been very good team play. Very patient by the Fire. They've had a very solid half, and then when they've won the ball, I think it's been very important for them. They've kept it, and then when the opportunities were, they've gone with speed, and they've got numbers in the box.
Nice to see that patience with so much youth. The starting 11. First timed out there by Polster. Recovered by Minnesota. Kappelhoff surging forward. Slams it on for Kappelhoff. Closing minutes of the opening half here from Portland in the Simple Invitational. Fernandez steps on the ball. Little room, left-footed shot. Just grazing the roof of the goal. That's the best look, although it was from distance. It was Bernardo Honor with the chance for Minnesota United.
It's one of the few times where they got caught in transition, a little bit off balance. Their shape, because Calistri was pushing forward. I think Vincent was wide, and you know, Honor was shooting a little bit, and then when they won the ball, he made the diagonal run, and he was free with that good opportunity there by Minnesota.
Team owner Andrew Hopman in Portland watching his club this evening. Brought the team to dinner last night, like a lot of people, just trying to get to know this team after gigantic changes. Stevens, little turn away from coverage.
He's off.
Igboananike's got some room, but the offside flag comes up.
That was close.
You've never been a guy that's been known to argue with referees, right?
Never me. So nice to the refs.
Well, that's the first 45 minutes. Frank Klopas and myself will be back with you before the start of the second half. A good first 45 minutes for the Chicago Fire, especially the homegrown kid, Joey Calistri, with the early brace, has the men in red on top of Minnesota United FC 2-0 after the opening half.
Here's a recap of tonight's first half. The Simple Invitational is presented by the official online banking partner of the Portland Timbers, Simple, a beautifully human way to bank, budget, and save. It starts at simple.com. Since 1960, when JELD-WEN began with one Oregon millwork plant, we've been dedicated to crafting reliable windows and doors. Tonight you can see, touch, and feel reliability in our beautiful windows and doors because of their durability, energy efficiency, and worry-free performance. We measure our success by the relationships we build with our customers, suppliers, and communities where we live and work. We've partnered with organizations such as the Green Building Initiative, which accelerates green building practices by promoting environmentally progressive approaches that are practical, affordable, and accessible. Key Bank is the exclusive retail and commercial bank of the Portland Timbers. The Key Bank hassle-free account. No overdraft fees, no monthly fees, no hassles. Turn to Key. Visit key.com-hassle-free. Follow the Timbers with flights to over 40 cities from that Alaska Airlines serves from Portland, including Boston, Dallas, and 4 LA area airports. For Alaska's lowest prices, visit alaskaair.com.
5. Welcome back to Providence Park, Portland, Oregon, the Simple Invitational. Good news to report so far. The Chicago Fire on top of Minnesota United FC 2-0 after the first half of play. That's more like it. That makes you excited about March 6th watching the first 45 minutes there.
No, it does. And I think, look, I mean, I think it's still in preseason, but the thing that I was impressed most with the Fire in the first half is that when they won the ball back, they didn't force play. I think they were very patient. They got tactically very organized, and then their build-up was very organized. They were very organized in their build-up. They moved the ball well, you know, and I think that's the important thing. It was through their ability to move the ball, switch the point of attack, you know, and then when they saw the opening, they went. The timing of the runs, the numbers in the box, and I think for me, that's what I was impressed.
Well, time to take a look at our highlights from that opening half. And Frankie Klopas, as you like to say, not a surprise. The star of our highlights is a Chicago guy, Joey Calistri.
I love it.
Had the first good look there.
First, his ability now to make those diagonal runs. We talked about him getting in the box and help, you know, being there to support Igbonanika and getting numbers in the box. Good miss there. Second opportunity, gets in the box, the ball comes out, and it has a great finish.
Makes it 1-0 in the 24th minute. Joey Calistri not done on the evening.
And he's following the action. He's there. You know, you're not always going to get the ball. And this is the great run, but I felt by Harrington. The switch of play. Fernandez gets it. He attacks, which was very important, the defender. And then just the run of Harrington and the timing of Fernandez to lay the ball at the right moment, numbers in the box. You know, they played the ball back with Vincent, and there's Calistri on top of the box. So it's two very good finishes, clean sheet for the team, very good in possession, very organized in their build-up play. For sure, a lot of things to work on and improve, but I think it's very positive.
Yeah, well-placed shot, especially on that second goal from Joey Calistri. There's now some new names and faces here to begin the second half for both teams. Ramos, Alex Morel, second-round draft choice out of the University of Northern Florida, out there for the Chicago Fire amongst some of the few changes we've seen. Patrick Duty, left back.
Drew Connor in the middle, came in for Pulser there, and along with Stevens. And then Myra, obviously, João Myra comes in and replaces Kapafal for, I think, they're probably 45, and it's good to see Campbell get 90 minutes in a game like this. Rodrigo Ramos, the Brazilian right back, is in this game.
First session with the team on Monday. They have to evaluate his fitness, and Ramos obviously ready to go this evening. LaBraca, Fernandez. Punched into the midfield there by LaBraca. But recovered by Minnesota. We see number 29 out there, Gilberto. You like what he brings now as the Fire, little defending. My apologies, Frank. I'm imagining Gilberto out there.
No problem. You'd like to see him out there, but he's not out there right now.
And blame it on my new partner. Still early in this second half.
And the way Gilberto's been playing, we'd all like to see him out there.
Okay, we were talking about him earlier today, and I know you like it.
I think he's been, you know, I think he's a guy, him, Akam, that I think in the final third that they bring some special qualities. And I think that this guy stays healthy this year with the players that he has around him. David Akam, I think those are the guys that in the final third can really have some quality and make a difference for our team, for the Fire.
So Drew Connor, the homegrown kid out of the University of Wisconsin, comes in for Matt Polster. João Myra in for Kappelhoff.
Drew Conner, another good soccer player, very good feet, covers a lot of ground. Technically very gifted.
Substitutions for Minnesota United. At the beginning of the second half, into the match, number 2, Justin Davis. Number 4, Eric Mitchell. Number 7, Ibsen. Number 8, Danny Cruz. Number 16, Damian Love. Number 17, Lance Blaine. Number 18, Daniel Mendez. Number 20, Andre Gaspinov. And number 23, Ray Jordan. Out for Minnesota, number 3, Anthony Wallace. Number 4, Brett Coleman. Number 32, Chris Ritter. Number 77, Daniel Sexton. Number 35, Tony Walls. Number 13, Jamie Watson.
Good stuff by Duty, stepping in there, in the hole and applying pressure, forcing Cruz to play backwards.
Substitutions for the Chicago Fire. Into the match, number 13, Rodrigo Ramos. Number 18.
Did you hear all the substitutions from both teams?
Look, I think it's important also for Chicago. It's a very good first half, 2-0. That, you know, that now this second group are the guys that have come in. You know, I think that really continue to play well. Just like in the first half, they keep a clean sheet, push the game, because it's still an opportunity now to work on your fitness, to work on your ability to keep the ball under possession, work on your synchronized movement and the timing of the runs in a game like this. All done by Fernandez.
Kid hasn't been shy. Drew Conner, one of his first touches on the ball. Under duress momentarily, but now makes the right decision out of the scrum.
Unlucky by Patrick Duty, but that was better by Guananique. Given an option to Patrick Duty in the channel, and you know, he doesn't get the ball, but just that movement is able to stretch their lines, their back line in the midfield line, where you know, maybe if he doesn't have the option, he doesn't get the ball. Now there's other players where you can find LaBroca, you can find Stevens in those pockets.
Mendez begins this break for Minnesota United FC. Ramos back for the Chicago Fire. Venegas taps over for Jordan. Knock back to Lamson, who has to stretch to save that. The distribution out of the back and from the keeper has been solid here so far on this Wednesday evening from Portland. Patient approach there by Campbell. Number 66, João Myra. LaBroca on for Fernandez. Couple of quick moves to buy himself some time. Drops it down to the left side for Patrick Duty. Morel pass in between two of his own players, and it's gobbled up by Minnesota United. Myra helps recover possession. LaBroca, who's had a solid game for the Chicago Fire. He'll get the throw. Now I'll let Ramos do it. Campbell, a little off balance there was Morel, and the foul is given.
If they're able to play a ball like that with Campbell, once he gets it, If he pushes up a little higher up the field with Duty pushing up and Morrell coming in, you create that imbalance 3v2. He can play the ball a little bit quicker. You can create that advantage on the side. Good ball and run by Morrell there.
Again off balance, but the kid stays on his feet. Now darting forward into congestion, looking for Igboananike, but broken up by Minnesota quickly on the counter. Venegas right up the middle. Myra slows him down. Minnesota draws the call. See the left hand there of Myra coming in. First time close to goal in this second half for Minnesota United. See Colin Fernandez, not a big man there, striding by him. Lance Lang just towering over him, but just a kid, and Fernandez has played well tonight.
Played very well. He was a little pinched in on that switch of play, but he got out there pretty quickly. But it was good box defending by Campbell there. Attacking the ball, being able to see both references, his man and the ball, and he was first to attack, which his position was very good.
Jordan Venegas spins it out wide. Jordan once again, the Brazilian Ibsen.
Just dropping a little bit deep in our midfield right now. I think either Drew or Mikey Stevens has to push out a little bit more.
They're pushing up as Stevens. Pitch Colin, Minnesota. Handled there by Duty. He says shoulder. The yellow card shown.
Nobody's going to say it was a handball. I never did when I was a player.
If you're not lying, you're not trying. So it sets up a free kick. Lang, the Jamaican, over the ball. You see the shouts there immediately for the handball there on Duty. Left-footed in, off the bar. Second try, and it's chipped high and wide. What a blast by Lance Lang. Rings the crossbar.
Unbelievable effort by him. Great free kick. I think even Lance was a little bit surprised of the power he got and the bend on that ball.
Came off that crossbar with such force. It wasn't an easy finish there, as it was chipped a little high and wide on the second look.
Great cover by Duty there. Campbell stepped in the hole, and then this is one of the exercises that I saw even them working yesterday, just with the back four. When one steps, Duty and Myra dropping behind to pick up those second balls in case there's guys running the channel. And the flick was there, but Duty was in great position to pick that up. So it's good to see the stuff that they were doing yesterday in training, actually to do it in the game situations here.
Patrick Duty is the most experienced MLS defender out there for the Chicago Fire tonight. It shows you what a revamped back line and how much youth has been injected back there.
Look, and I think it's good giving these young guys opportunities and confidence to play in games like this. And that's what really you learn and you get better. And experience like this you can't get anywhere in game situations. But it was great by the kid to see that. I saw that they were working with the back four. When one stepping and other players just dropping off, and in case there's flicks, picking up those runs, those diagonal runs inside, and he was in great position to pick that one up.
Venegas has taken a knock for Minnesota United FC.
I think now with a lot of this change, it's still important for the team to make sure that they keep their shape, in both phases of play. When they have the ball, still be patient, still move the ball. Don't drop too deep when you lose it.
You've been part of successful preseasons as a manager before. How do you keep, I guess, things in perspective? Because you want to win, you want to show well, but of course at the end of the day, the results don't necessarily matter in the preseason.
No, they don't. But I think, look, there's ways that you can play and you win games, and and then you can see games like this where I think that you win the game, but you deserve to win because I think that the team is organized. There's very good tactical organization. You can see what the team is trying to do on the field, the way they move the ball, the way they defend. And you can see that certain kind of work has been done. Now, I'm not saying that it's perfect, but when you see this preseason games, you see the things that they've been working on, the things that Pano has been talking about, that they want to be, what kind of team they want to be, the kind of identity they want to have, and you can see, and then slowly you can see that identity. You can see their winning mentality. You can see the guys working for each other. You can see even in training sessions that every exercise they do, it's 100% because they know all those little things matter to help them in game situations.
Alvarez, Keller, Bryce, Razvan, Kocic, Valesky. And Patrick McLean comes in between the sticks for Matt Lamson. So Guananique, Fernandez, Labroca, some of the names that have come off good performances as we hit the hour mark here in Portland. If you're just joining us, it was a first half brace from Joey Calistri. Ibsen.
Good recovery there by Rodrigo Ramos. Does a very good job getting forward. But then just his ability to recover, which is the key when you're an outside back like him.
The Romanian Razvan Kocic, wearing the captain's armband. Campbell moves it forward. Floated out wide for Morel. 1v2. Keeps it on the turf. Back for duty. Space for Kocic, and he'll switch it. There's Ramos surging forward. Cross coming. Oh, Kingsley Bryce. Surprise, surprise, and it's 3-0 Chicago Fire.
Again, another goal from just being patient, moving the ball, and look, you can say that maybe it was a little bit of a lucky goal, but I think just the build-up play in itself. You go to one side, there's no space, you bring it around. Razvan gets the ball, switches to the other side. You get forward with Rodrigo Ramos, puts the ball in the box. And you have numbers in the box. That's why he played that early ball in, and it's great to see this guy Bryce get a header on it and make it 3-0. I think it's important, our mentality, not to keep playing well, not to give anything away. Not to give anything away. Keep the clean sheet, keep working hard, keep being good with the ball, keep keeping our shape and being organized as a team. You know, and also working on fitness, push it. I know the legs are heavy, the guys have been working hard, but you know, you have a 3-0 lead, now you just have to be smart with the ball, keep possession, let them run, and then, you know, when the opportunity is there,
Bryce with the goal in the 62nd minute.
you can attack. But it's also good to be the ability now to learn how to play with a lead.
Substitution for Minnesota into the match. Number 25 is Valiant.
See some extra energy now from number 27, Kingsley Bryce, after scoring this first goal of the second half. Patrick McLean, who's replaced Matt Lamson. This is Vincent Keller. Kochish. Intended for Alex Morel, but anticipated by Minnesota United. And Frank, something we're going to talk about, especially earlier in the regular season, the Fire haven't had the advantage of having the bulk of their games at home to begin a season. And especially when you hit May and the travel becomes really difficult, the start is going to be crucial for the Chicago Fire. You know what it is as a coach to go from Wednesday at Vancouver, Saturday to Boston, then the next Wednesday out to New York. It can be a killer.
I agree with you. I just want to go back to that play because it was so important to see Rodrigo Ramos, the sprint he makes to make sure that he closes that ball down and does not allow for that ball to come back in the box. And, you know, I said, this was an area that I needed to work on, and it's good to see the mentality of this young player where as the ball is switched, he sprints as hard as he can to make sure that that ball does not come back in the box. Yeah, but with the schedule, I agree with you. I think it's a big advantage for the Fire and for us to have those first out of the 7 games, 5 at home, and we have to take advantage of it. We have to make Toyota Park a place where when teams come there, they know that it's going to be a difficult day, that the team is not going to drop points, that it's going to be a difficult day for them. And I think we have to take advantage of those early matches because you get in those stretches where you have to have those 3 games on the road. You're playing in Vancouver, you go to New England and then to New York. Difficult matches, but the travel kills you in this league.
I know you loved opening up on the road so much against the Los Angeles Galaxy, or opening up a new stadium like it seems the Fire have frequently, as McLean will watch that on his roof, whether it be San Jose, Red Bull Arena, Sporting Park.
We opened up this park.
That's
when
right.
Portland first came in, deja vu. I have memories of that game right now, and I'm shaking.
Was that the game that you were pelted by rain? Sean Johnson was in goal?
Yes, and I was somewhere on the right, up here watching that game.
Man who scored the most recent goal for the Chicago Fire, Kingsley Bryce, but possession picked back up by Minnesota United. Mendez lays it off. Just not a lot of room and options coming down that left side. Will a reminder be there for the 2016 Chicago Fire season opener presented by CSN Chicago when the Fire host New York City FC on Sunday, March 6th. Single game group and season tickets are now available by visiting chicago-fire.com or by calling 888 MLS Fire. You can also catch the action live on Comcast Sportsnet with kickoff 1 p.m. Central on March 6th.
That's a good play by Razvan Kochiz. You know, we're stretched as a team. He has an ability. He's a little bit late to close the space down, and instead of going and stretching the team even more, he just drops back and then gets the team a little bit more compact. And that's where his experience comes in hand.
Frank, don't take it personal, but you've been the enemy the last couple years. We're not big fans of the Montreal Impact, but I know you have a relationship with the Chicago Fire fans, and it's nice to be able to talk to them once again, isn't it?
It's just great for me to be back home. You know, Chicago is always my city, and this team will always be my team. You know, and I know there are a lot of fans back home watching the game, so I know from myself and you, we want to say a big hello to all of them. Can't wait for opening day. And looking forward to the season. I know I keep saying it. I just want that first game when New York FC comes to town, you know, to make sure that all our fans, our Section 8 fans, are there hours before the game, enjoying their barbecues or whatever else they have to do outside, and then coming in and, you know, and really cheering our team on and celebrating our first victory of the year.
Enjoying some nice cold beverages in the freezing cold to warm them up for opening day, and they deserve a winner as they're down on the ground is Morel. A possession recovered by Minnesota United. Pitch Colin on the ball for Minnesota. Press coming from Drew Connor.
As a young player, I'm watching. Duty is a young player, but he's one that's very vocal. You know, I see his communication with Morel out there, because as his players coming in and inside the right midfielder Cruz, and then the outside back is overlapping, and he has to stay with them. You know, his communication to make sure that Morel stays with his guy is important. It's a young guy that's taking responsibility on the field, and it's good to see that.
Patrick Duty, a homegrown product, played a high level of collegiate soccer at Indiana University and learned on the fly last season.
That's the one thing now when Alvarez is on the field, because he's a guy that always comes inside to get the ball. So I think when Rodrigo Ramos has the ball and then he comes deep, you know, to get the ball, because that's his strength. He wants the ball at his feet where he can turn and combine and play this little give and goes. Bryce has to make that run in the channel and stretch the team. If he does that, there'll be a lot more space for, you know, Arturo Alvarez to get the ball and turn. You know, where he can come inside, and he's very dangerous with his left foot when he can do it. He can shoot from distance, or his ability to combine in his little give and goes and be dangerous.
Alvarez wearing number 12 for the Chicago Fire. Myra goes down, opening up a little space for the counter here for Minnesota. This is Ibsen. Came on in the second half, number 8. He's had a few good touches. Pitch Colin. Into the 71st minute, it's a 3-0 lead for the Chicago Fire. They won 3-2 Sunday over Vancouver, and they'll wrap up this preseason Saturday against the defending champion Portland Timbers.
This is the one thing now you want to see as the team is now 71 minutes in, getting a little bit more tired. You know, you want to make sure that as the ball goes back, their ability now to move the back line up. You know, I just saw head coach Panovich just looking at him and said, every chance you have, you know, and I know you're tired, it's just a mental thing. You have to be able to communicate and move that line constantly up, be moving. If you can gain even inches and stay more compact, you know, it makes it so much more difficult for the opposing team to play through you. You keep their forwards always guessing. They have to move. And then obviously the schools, if they have the ball and they're facing, then you can start dropping off again.
Chipped in off the free kick. Rising up first to greet it was Campbell. And that's the good call there. That ball was over the line. And that's the first impression you get talking to Veljko Paunovic is the dude's all business. Even in preseason, he was very serious this afternoon in preparation for this match.
Listen, when you have a passion and you love something, you know, the product that's on the field, it's, you know, a lot of it is your responsibility. When they go on and they play, it mirrors the image of the team. And he's a very organized guy. But you can see that the team on the field is organized. They want to play a certain way. This tactical organization and build up in their play.
Surging down that far side was Ramos. Draws the call.
I'll tell you what, this kid Ramos, tactically, he's very smart. Very smart tactically. Young player, but he's, you know, you can see that he reads the game very well. His positioning is very good. And early on, you see, he's made about 10 runs, looking always to get forward. But as a young player, his ability to read the game is impressive.
Kocic, Kingsley Bryce. Didn't force things.
Did force it, but there was space for Rodriguez Ramos. If he slips that ball earlier through, Ramos was with the space behind, especially the high line that Minnesota was playing. It could have been 4-0 maybe.
Kocic. Call goes Minnesota's way in the 74th minute. Calistri scored twice in the opening half. Kingsley Bryce has added one here in the second. Mendez sprays it out wide. A lot of coverage back on that right side for the Fire. And anticipated by Kocic.
He anticipated very well. Also Keller, he read it. He was right there behind it to step in the hole and intercept the ball. I think there are moments even the play before where I think when you have the team like Minnesota and the sidelines there, those are moments and opportunities where there's no space where the Fire can now press together because they had numbers around the box. And I know that 73rd minute a little bit tired, but now you have to push it, you know, in those moments where you can win the ball, not the middle of the field, but every time you can get them on the sides and you have numbers, it's harder for a team to play through you there.
Valesky was fouled, draws the yellow card on Minnesota United. Another look. So it was Lowe with that yellow card. Little hesitation there. Out of the back by Keller. Now Minnesota United building some steam. Cross coming, Ibsen rising up for it, and a two-team header there, knocked high over the bar. And it looks like Patrick Doody is taking a knock.
One of the few times where they got caught now in transition. We lost the ball in the middle. And they were able to get the ball out wide and put the ball in the box. Doody made a good run to track the guy in his diagonal run, which is not easy. He stayed with him.
Up there at the Fire bench. And Frankie, you're a young guy. The Fire fans, already I've been asked today, is Frank Klopas going to join Twitter?
Twitter.
What's that?
I have so many things that I'm Facebook, I'm on. If I get Twitter, I'm on. There's too many things. I'd rather just watch the games and prepare for the work that we have to do.
The 28 games.
But if you want me to, I'll join.
Oh, sounds like that it could happen.
If enough fans want me to join, then I might have to join.
Hey, you're smart enough to stay out of trouble. There's Razvan Kocic. Alvarez shoots it out wide, just out of range. Stretching there was Alex Morel.
And Alvarez, when you're playing on that side with him, like Rodrigo's playing, because you know he's a player that wants the ball to his feet. He's got to have touches. 99% of, well, not 99, I would say 90% of the time, he's going to come inside and get the ball. So the one thing that, you know, with this Rodrigo Ramos is that he's not only staying wide, but he's given that option where he's making 40, 50-yard runs now, because as Fernandez is coming in, he's providing that option to look to get behind in those wide areas.
Patrick McLean will brush it forward for the Chicago Fire. Alvarez and Kochish draw the call. 78th minute. Morel. Once again, looking for space down that left side. Goes end line. Quick shot.
That's great stuff on Morel there. Getting the ball wide on 1-1 situations, and he's just showed a lot of pace. Where he's able just to push the ball, go by, cuts the ball back. Good run by Drew Moore. By Moore, just unfortunate that the ball was blocked. And I think tactically, I think that Pano has switched Arturo Alvarez, has brought him underneath to play with Velasquez and has put Bryce out wide. Maybe to bring another guy that can stretch the team out wide. And then obviously when Arturo can get the ball in between those pockets, his ability not to make that final pass and be closer to the goal, and his qualities that he brings, I think they're a little bit better if he can get the ball in the final third of the field.
Yeah, it was Drew Connor with the chance, just couldn't get it through.
Good communication again with Rodrigo, not biting and coming in and leaving that space behind him, reading the play, communicating, passing players on, keeping team shape. Very good by Alvarez, pushing the team. The ball is up, you can just see his ability to communicate and move the team up.
Chested down by Bryce, on to Connor. This is Patrick Duty. Handball. Alertly called. It was Alvarez. Those Valspar shirts looking pretty sharp on the road tonight.
Well done by Drew. Well done to get stuck and win the ball. Good opportunity here by Velasquez.
Yes, Connor creates the opportunity. Valesky just a little off target on the finish. Will be a corner. I can't even look at Twitter anymore, Frank. They just asked for you to get on Twitter now. They being the great Chicago Fire supporters.
What is it, just one person telling you?
No, it's more than one.
Okay. Just want to make sure. Great ball in by Alvarez there.
It was Myra who just stuck it wide.
The service, even the last game by Alvarez, even went from on dead balls, he can deliver a very good ball into the box.
Now the other way. McLean gets taken down. There to calm things down, though, Vincent Keller. It's McLean out of his box, quickly eliminated, but the Fire have room to counter.
I think Jean Myra had that one covered. Just unfortunate. I'm glad no one got injured on that play.
This is Morel again. He's been doing some good things down the left side in the second half.
He's got a lot of pace. You know, normally, you know, a lot of guys that, you know, right-footed guys that like to play on the opposite side, they like to come in a lot, but he's kept the back line guessing because he can come inside, but also has the pace now to beat you down the line.
Vincent Keller.
Very good, patient with the ball, not forcing it. moving the ball from side to side. I mean, Minnesota has 10 guys in their own half, so this is your situations like that where you have to be patient, move the ball quick, switch the point of attack, you know, and try to create those unbalances with the ball movement.
Kochish makes himself available. Again, it's Kingsley Bryce.
Very good ball into the pocket there, in between the lines. Now Morel's got to get in the box here.
Ramos puts it into the area, quickly cleaned up.
That's what I felt Kalister did very well. Made those hard runs, diagonal runs, and put himself in a good spot. And you're not always going to get the ball, but if you never put yourself there, you don't follow the play, you're never going to score. Another good tackle. Don't think that was a foul. I think he got all ball first.
It was Mendez who drew it. Let's take another look.
What do you think? We don't give fouls to the Chicago guys.
No, mostly ball. Especially in preseason. So good to have you with us on Chicago-Fire.com here in the 84th minute from Portland. With Frankie Klopas, I'm Dan Kelly. Just getting ready for March 6th, the home opener. It's Duty with some help there by Keller. Alvarez trying to create some problems. Just kept at bay.
I thought he was through. The ball took a bounce, and I thought he had that one. It got pushed away, or it was a foul, but I don't know. I thought when the ball bounced over the defender, I thought he was through.
Flag comes up. It's funny watching Patrick Duty. It almost reminds you tonight of watching him when he was in college, just looking like one of the better players on the field, but when he has the ball, calm and confident, doesn't overreact. So we started to see that confidence grow in the final few games last year when number 22 in red would get forward frequently. Myra behind the ball. Duty can't catch up to it.
It's great to see, you know, like you said, players like Duty, Connor, Fernandez, guys that have come up through the system and through the Fire Academy as homegrown players. See the great work that those the coaches have done over the years.
So many coaches responsible for the finished product that you see at the MLS level. So more of the same for Minnesota United. They lost 4-0 Sunday night, and here trailing 3-0 to the Chicago Fire.
A little bit different that game though, because they were down 2 men. They had 2 red cards early on. You know, for me, I think it was a different game today. I think I give a lot of credit to the Fire team because, yes, they're the better team, but games like this sometimes can be not as easy if you don't go on the field with the right mentality and the right approach to the game, and I think that's what they did. And now it's important to close it off. Don't give anything away. Keep the clean sheet like we talked about. Good cover by Duty there.
Loses a little space, and the Brazilian there with the chance. Ibsen flies it over the bar, and you see the frustration from Patrick Duty. We jinxed the kid.
Well, but other than that, I mean, if you look at the whole game, they really, you know, Minnesota hasn't created any opportunities. Nothing through build-up. I mean, there was a little bit unlucky by Patrick there.
Just lost his footing a touch. It's nice to see that reaction from Patrick Duty, too, in the 87th minute of a meaningless preseason match. Showing how much he cares of a flub there with his team leading 3-0. Pass behind Morel. Has to go back for it. Support coming too from Patrick Duty. Morel confident on the ball. He goes down and earns the penalty. No question about that one.
Can we sub Calistri to take this one or not?
Just makes things happen again. It was Jordan who took him down in the area.
Great work again by Morel. His ability when he gets the ball out wide, his pace. Like I said, that time he cuts inside, beats one guy and cuts back outside, wins the PK. Definitely had, for me, had an impact the second half in the final third. His ability to beat players, put Minnesota under pressure, win this PK.
The dispatch from Arturo Alvarez. It's now 4-0 Chicago. Keller back for it. Nicely outlets. It's jabbed out there. Myra back. Late corner here for Minnesota United in the 90th minute.
Let's keep the clean sheet here. I think for me, more than anything, it was a very good team performance. I know you can look at the score and you look at most of the game and you say, yes, it wasn't a difficult game, but I think it's the approach and the mentality and how they stepped on the field that made it easy for themselves. We played some good soccer, everything through the build-up. You know, a lot of opportunities came to the tactical organization and build-up. They were very patient. They were good with the ball. We created a lot of opportunities. We scored 4 goals, clean sheet, and I think it was a good team performance.
Frankie, now the test is a little stiffer against the defending champions to close out the preseason Saturday night as we get set for that one to watch it back home from Chicago. What are you going to be looking for against stiffer competition to continue the progression here during preseason?
Yeah, I just think, look, the same messages that up to this point, I think even with the team like Portland, that's good. But I think, look, there's enough quality. Don't forget, there were a lot of players that didn't play tonight. Akam, Gilberto, they were guys, the roster and the lineups were mixed. So you had some experienced players, some younger players, but everyone showed that they were ready to contribute and play. You know, the team concepts, the stuff they've been working on. Then, you know, it would be a difficult match, but listen, I think that the team, we have some quality here. I think that the team is working very hard as a group, and I think that has to continue. Their ability to stay compact, make it difficult for Portland to play. You know, they like to keep possession, move the ball quick, so I think that's going to be tested, their ability to keep our shape throughout the game. And then when we have our ball, I think to be patient again, to make good decisions, to be good in possession, and then obviously look, and then if we can get another clean sheet, if we can score some goals and then finish this tournament with another win, why not? But I think it'll be a good test. That's going to prepare us for that game against New York FC.
Frankie Klopas, it's pretty cool to call you a teammate. Can't wait to work with you the rest of the season. Great job, match number 1.
I'm excited. Let's get every game we do, let's get a win.
Exactly.
What do you think?
Exactly. We'll get the Chicago guys with a brace again, like Joey Calistri. A 4-0 victory for the Chicago Fire. They continue rolling through this simple invitational from Providence Park. It will finish off Saturday night again. Once again, the final score, Chicago over Minnesota, 4-0. So glad you could join us and hope to hear from you the rest of the season. Thanks so much.
And accessories.